On rainy days, which were often, I left my apartment to head for what I always now crave when it rains: crepes. Hi, I'm Valerie, and today we're going to be making a crepe cake right here in my home kitchen. If you love crepes, you're going to love them stacked up together with filling in between in a cake. You can actually like slice it and eat it like a cake. So we're going to be using this crepe recipe from my cookbook, Life is What You Bake It. I'm super excited to share this recipe, and the first thing we're going to do is make a bunch of crepes. So I'm making them in a blender. This is a wonderfully simple batter. Start by just putting everything in the blender. So I've got some cake flour, and cake flour is great because it's got less protein than all-purpose flour, which means you get a bit of a softer bite. I've got sugar, salt. I'm gonna add 4 eggs. Crepes are pretty similar to pancakes. They're just a lot thinner and a lot Frenchier, or a lot Frencher. And now I'm gonna add some orange zest. And as you can see, I'm just barely skimming the top of the orange peel. I don't want to press down too deep, because if you cross that barrier, you're gonna get to what's called the pith. And the pith is white, but it's bitter, and we don't want that. We just want all of those wonderful citrus oils, and it's gonna just give our crepes a really nice fragrance to them. If you guys could smell this, woo! I'm using orange liqueur because it's gonna just further accentuate that lovely orange flavor. You can use rum, you could use whiskey, you could even use orange juice. I need to add my milk. So I'll do low for 10 seconds and then medium for 10 seconds, and then I'll check it. You can see some of the flour has kind of clumped on the sides. So I'm just gonna use my rubber spatula to make sure that's all taken care of. Our crepe batter is ready. So I'm going to let this rest either at room temperature for an hour or in the refrigerator for up to 24 hours. So we made a batch earlier, and this has been resting, and you can see the texture is a little bit different. And what that's gonna help with is when we put it in the skillet, it's not gonna kind of like pop up like a Dutch baby or a popover. It's had a chance to relax. And I've got a skillet heating up. I've got it on medium-low, and I want my skillet to be hot before I add that pancake batter. And I'll know it's hot because water or butter should sizzle a little bit when you add it to the pan. And I'm going to add a scant 1/4 cup of crepe batter to the skillet, and I'm using a measuring cup, which I'm also pouring batter down the oven. And I've got a 1/4 cup measuring cup, so I'm just pouring it into the skillet. And because it will set quickly, I'm just using, you know, my wrist. I want to make an even layer of my crepe batter. And I'm gonna just let that sit for about 90 seconds. I want the edges to get brown, and I want the bottom to set before I flip it over and cook the other side. And if you've ever seen the pros making the crepes, they use the little like billig. They have like a little technique to it, like a little flick of the wrist. I'm working on that. This is the parable of the first pancake, or is it the curse of the first pancake? Want it to cook, so you turn up the heat just a little bit. And then I'm realizing maybe I turned it up a little bit too much, because I did see a bit of smoke, but we're gonna go with it. The first pancake, it's always a little bit uneven because we're still getting the temperature of our skillet just right. I went on a bad first date once, and my friend was like, "Remember the first pancake?" And I'm like, since when do you make baking analogies? I'm gonna make about 36 more of these, which is 2 batches for our crepe cake. And I'll even have a few extra left over, which is great because, you know, if you kind of mess up, if a few aren't perfect, or if you can't help yourself and you just wanna snack on a few, you'll still have plenty for our crepe cake. I might be getting better at this. We made our double batch of crepes, and now we're gonna make our filling, which starts with a double batch of the cheat pastry cream from my cookbook. I've got a couple of blocks of cream cheese, a 1.5 cups of heavy cream, And the reason I call this cheap pastry cream, I use it kind of like people might use pastry cream, but we don't have to cook it over a stove top or any of that. We can just put everything in the mixer and let it run. It's like a cheat code to baking. And I'm just gonna let this start on low, and I'm just gonna let this go until it's combined and nice and smooth and creamy like a pastry cream should be. So to finish our filling, we're gonna whip up some heavy cream into whipped cream. We're gonna use this just to fold into that cheap pastry cream to lighten it up. But we're also going to save a little to put on top of our cake when it's done. So I'm just gonna whip up this cream. Just gonna add some to kind of lighten it up, and then I'll fold in the rest. I need an apron and I need goggles. Oh my gosh. Okay. Can't even blame the mixer on that one. I'm gonna fold in the rest. So I put the whipped cream in. I did save about a cup to go on top of our finished cake. So I'm folding it in, and I just want it to be the same consistency, the same color, the pastry cream and the whipped cream. Okay, so for now, the most fun part, assembling the cake. I went ahead, I put my crepes in the fridge just because it'll be easier to assemble them, because if they were warm, their residual heat would kind of melt all of our lovely cream that we've been building. So I've got the plate that I'm gonna serve my cake on. I have a 1/3 measuring cup. So I'm gonna take some filling, add it to my crepe, and I'm just gonna smooth this in an even layer. And it's okay if you don't go all the way to the edge. And I'm going to add my next crepe and keep doing this until I don't have any crepe or filling left. So here's another 1/3 cup of our filling. The recipe calls for a few extra crepes, but you're gonna have enough. I'm in a crepe cake making mood. All right, time for the last crepe. And we are gonna let this set in the fridge. You need to chill it at least 6 hours. That's gonna make it easier for us to cut. So this is kind of like an icebox cake, except I guess more gourmet and definitely more français. All right, so this was in the fridge for 6 hours, and I'm gonna top it with a little bit more whipped cream, but I just wanna do a little doo-wop, a little dollop of freshly whipped cream to finish this off. I had a stroke of inspiration. So I rinsed off a few strawberries. Just gonna put them right on top. Okay, I've waited 6 hours. I've waited long enough. It's time to taste this. Ooh, that is good. That orange zest and all of that orange flavor just kind of hit me at the end. This is a delicious cake. It's just so creamy, but you still have those beautiful, like, thin layers of crepes throughout. So you get a really nice kind of interesting take on the texture in this cake. So this cake, it like screams celebration, like New Year's or just something like fancy where you want to kind of show off. This cake like checks all of those boxes. Go ahead, make it. Let me know in the comments how much you love this cake. I think you're gonna love it as much as I do. Thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button and we will see you next time.